I'm gonna see what I can do with this space, see if I can tidy it up a little bit. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel and my name is Wendy. Today I'm going to get some decluttering done. I want to show you exactly how I'm going to reduce the clutter that is in my art cupboard. It's kind of our catch-all space. I would call it like a hotspot in our kitchen. I've just recently put in there all the things that came off my office desk to remove my office desk from this bedroom. It's where I keep my sewing machine. There's also in there bits and pieces that the kids have kept for school. It's just a space that needs a little bit of extra attention right now. Hang on a moment, I'm going to shut the door so you can't hear the washing machine. I've just got back from having lunch with a friend who we have been friends for 20 years. 20 years of friendship. I don't always get to see her. We probably see each other once a year, but when we do catch up, it's really, really lovely. And I'm just so thankful for her friendship. But unlike long friendships, I don't really need to hold on to all my stuff. And I really like to be able to declutter and get rid of things if we're not using it. If I haven't used something for 20 years, I definitely shouldn't have hold of it. So this is it here. It is the corner of our kitchen. And you would have seen this in one of my last videos where I did a declutter of a bedroom. And then on this top shelf here, I would consider this to be a hotspot. I've put the watering can there to remind me to water my plants. Essential oils, that shouldn't be there anymore because the essential oil diffuser has been put elsewhere. Got some sunblocks so that it's available for everybody. But the rest of this is things that we hold on to because we might need it. And in actual fact, we very well might need it. It's receipts, recipes, invoices, and bills, but it's also not. And I don't like the way it all looks. I don't like this big blank wall behind there, but I'm not sure I can do anything about that. And then up here on this shelf is a picture that is of my hometown where I grew up, where my husband grew up, so I love having that there. I have thought of putting plants up here because that would look quite pretty. I did think that it was too hot up there for some plants, but I realized that that one's up there in the hanging basket and it's doing just fine. As much as I love this photo, the thing that's on it means it sits back and that's too far. So I think it needs a new frame. And these are recipe books, the ones that I've chosen to hold on to in regards to health. I've got Nourishing Traditions and I Quit Sugar, my gardening books, a fact file here that I've kept of interesting articles that I wanted to hold on to. I've got some small recipe books and there's a few. I've just got my crock pot manual in there. So I've got a few things there, but I'm not sure that they should stay there. So I'm gonna see what I can do with this space. One of the things that I really try hard not to do is to go out and buy a whole lot of storage things to store things, because I know that I don't need any more storage containers. I'm always trying to get rid of them, so I only buy things that I'm actually going to use. So it's not my intention to go out and buy anything if I don't have to, but I would like to create a better system for the kids' school things, paperwork that comes in that I want to hold on to, whether it's just temporarily or for long term. Also, I want to really be clear about what kind of paints and art things that we use, whether it's for myself or for the kids, and the sewing gear as well. I like to be able to have that on hand because it's such a nuisance when you just need a little something to fix something and you don't have it and you've got to go out and buy a big thing. So there's a few things that I really want to be able to simplify, but I also know I need to hold on to some things because life. So if you're like me and you love a good declutter and organize, stick with me. We'll see what we can do with this space. And I'd just like to say that right now you can hear the cicadas outside. You definitely can't feel the temperature. You might be able to see the sweat that is forming on the top of my lip, just mildly, but it is pretty warm. I've got a cardigan on, but I'm about to take it off while I get to work. And if I happen to change clothes midway through this video, not in front of you of course, but if you happen to see me come back and I'm wearing something different, it's because I've had a swim and I've put some fresh clothes on. Yep, I did. Hopped in the pool halfway through. All wet, but cooled off. Back to it. So I'm going to empty out all of this that I can. As I go, I'll see there might just be something I can immediately chuck. I might get a bin. From making bead necklaces, it's Emma's. Card making stuff for making birthday cards. This is my cardstock for doing art, to be sorted. Paints, felts, spare exercise books that the kids have never used. So I have put a box of these things under Emma's bed in here, so it doesn't need to be out there anymore. Done. Never used this, it has got to go. Oh look, it's an old lunchbox of Emma's and it's got a little Lego set in it. It's a hair salon. Kinetic sand. Anyone else have kids that loved kinetic sand? It's the sand that you can shape it. I love this stuff. Emma loves it too. I have to ask her if we can get rid of it. She'll say no, of course, but we'll see. Bubble wrap, wrapping paper, Christmas wrapping paper, more wrapping paper, just regular brown paper, gift bag with tissue paper, spare slats for our Venetian blinds, more gift wrapping paper, keys, kind of cute, a ton of paper. I'm not going to keep that. A phone book. Who even uses these anymore? Paints that have to get sorted. This is my one little sewing kit. My needles and buttons and a pair of scissors, a bag of cottons, paper mache paste, and pottery plaster. So this is if I wanted to make a mould of a child's hand. It holds cardstock. Might be able to get rid of this, I don't know. So this here is a concertina folder that I use to hold on to all our legal documents. Marriage certificate, birth certificate, life insurance, wills, things like that. So I've put it in this tiny folder so that if the house burnt or something I could grab it and go. But in actual fact I have digitized this, so I potentially don't need it. I'm not sure. It's really old and it's falling apart, but everything that's in here is still very current. This is how falling apart it is, look. But it's fine, it still holds everything. Nothing's falling out at all. I might just keep it in here. It might just remain. This goes with my sewing machine. I have to keep the sewing foot, obviously. There's an instruction book, crochet hooks, bits of material, and this under here, this is a massive tablecloth that my grandmother made that I'm reluctant to get rid of. Like, it's huge, it would cover an actual dining table. And here is a smaller one that she made because she's super clever. Oh, cable ties, we've been looking for those. Glue guns, craft. My sewing machine, which I'm just going to keep down there. This is an old modem. We just changed it up to a really fast one, and James has held on to this. I don't know that we need to. LED lights I brought on special that I thought might go in Emma's room, but I think they're going to be too bright. I might ask her if she wants to put them up in her room. There's a few things that I know I'm definitely going to get rid of straight away, and there's other things that I'm going to have to wrestle in my brain whether I get rid of it or not. Glue gun, but it's from when my son was younger. He's had this glue gun. He's played with these since kindergarten, but now I don't need it. We might keep the glue guns. Maybe I'll just keep one or two. It's probably the best thing to do, and just get rid of one, and I'll keep some of this stuff. Otherwise there's no point in keeping the glue gun. That's just a mild explanation as to why I've kept hold of these glue guns and what on earth they've been used for. Toys. Okay, so I've been going for a while. I'm going to show you where I'm at. It's 8 o'clock and I'm going to stop. I did stop and have some dinner. I'm going to continue it tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's Friday and I'll be able to finish the project. Hey there guys, it's the next day. Did my morning routine and then just got stuck back into decluttering this space, and I think I've finished. My epiphany is that it's really good to have a night to sleep on things, and I remember that this has worked for me in the past, but I'd forgotten about it. When I just lay in bed last night and thinking about things this morning, kind of remember what's in the cupboard and you're thinking, do I really need to keep that? I just had a thought in my head with some things, you probably should get rid of it, can you? And so I just kept saying that to myself as I was going through some stuff, like, you probably should get rid of this. why are you not? I had to buy one basket and some hanger things, but I'll show you that. Right, so this is all the rubbish I've got. Ton of rubbish. There was so much paper that I just chucked out, but there was heaps of kids' school things that needed to go. So all of these, I think I've shown you already, they're just dried up. There was 3 of those left that were nice pastel colours, and I had double ups of these oil paints. So these ones that are pretty much empty or feel like they're dried, I'm just throwing them out. This here is the portion of stuff that's going to go out to the garage. There's some cable ties and a few little tools that I don't need to keep in the kitchen. And these modems, I'm going to have a double check with James, but I really don't think we need them anymore. So they'll either go in the bin, or if he insists on keeping them, I will put them in the garage and he can declutter them later. And this here is what I've been able to get rid of. Quite a lot. It doesn't look a lot, but it is. Getting rid of this container, getting rid of bubble wrap, because who needs bubble wrap? Cotton balls. I don't even use cotton balls for anything, so I'm going to get rid of those. Rubber bands, and I've reduced it down to 2 glue guns instead of 3. More rubber bands. A giant pack of cards that we got in a Secret Santa. This is just a random container. I've decided to get rid of this embroidery circle because every time I do embroidery, it usually comes with a circle to use, so that can go. A learner's plate for the car because we have too many. A whole bag of paper clips. Got some Christmas cards that I don't like, so they can go. A few little bits and pieces, a pad and a pen. This is left over from putting on the bathroom window so people can't see through. It's at eye level, so I've used that, and this is just some leftover. That container that I've already said is to go, and a ream of A4 paper. Managed to reduce the glue gun stuff down, so that container can go. I can't think of anything else I would need it for. This is some art things, books that I wasn't using, some oil pastels. I decluttered the pencils and the watercolor pencils. I've just kept a few because I don't use that many. A few little things of glitter that I never use. So there's that. This was given to us. It's for painting porcelain, like painting plates. Never used it, and I checked it. It's still wet and usable. Paste for doing paper mache. I won't use that. We'll use flour and water if we ever do anything. And I did think of keeping this plaster of Paris to do Cora's hands and feet, but I think you can buy it in a kit to get rid of it. And this last thing here is, I've put it together to be a card making kit. So I'm going to write on here in this thing, card making kit. So at the second-hand shop, someone will know. We weren't using it. I've kept a few cards that we can use for universal things. There's quite a bit to get rid of. So now I'm going to show you the shelf. So this here is my end product. I'm so pleased with it. I really, really am. So I've kept all the recipe books. I changed the paper file holders. KonMari always teaches to store things standing up, so I use those quite a bit if I can. I put the wooden one up there because it looked better, and I put some succulent plants there because they need to be watered as often as that one, and so I'll water them all in the same go. All of these pots I had and all of these plants I had, they were just on a different shelf. I moved this picture down and I've stuck it to the wall with 3M stickers. I had to get some 3M stickers. They were $7 for a packet. So I used them to put that up, and I used them to put the hook up for this calendar. Okay, so I've just worked out that I can actually hang the key hook there using the same 3M stickers. These 3M stickers are awesome because they mean that I don't have to put holes in the wall. I've just used a screw that's really short that just sits in there so that it looks like it's screwed in, but it's not. So I'm really happy with that. I did think about doing it, but I thought that maybe it wouldn't hold the weight of the keys, but it does. It's great. So in here it's really just keeping anything that is just super relevant. I've got the seed manual that I'm using, the wardrobe brochure, there's a few health articles that I refer to, and there is our invoices, and the car needs a warrant of fitness, and this is my monthly menu plan grocery list. Spare calendar that I think I'm going to get rid of, and the spare masks. So this is going to be future relevant stuff. I'm really loving the fact that these plants are up here because it'll stop people storing stuff and shoving stuff up there like hats or keys or bags, because yes, people do shove stuff up there. I do think that they're going to try and put stuff here, but I think I've created a system for myself so I'll know exactly what to do with it if they do dump stuff there. So let's see what is in here. So I've kept the yellow pages because if we move, I really want someone just to have it for local things in case they need a tradie or something like that and don't know anybody. So I will keep that just sitting in the back there. I've kept this gift bag. Yes, we received another gift overnight. And so I am storing it there with all the other gift things in it that I use to wrap things. And it's on its side so I can see it and remember it's there. I've also kept in the back there the Christmas paper and wrapping paper and the brown paper because sometimes we just need to send a parcel and it's cheaper to send it covered in brown paper. But also Christmas wrapping paper was hard to come by this last year, so I'm just going to hold on to it, and it's quite happily sitting in the back there. And this is the small box that I've got left of art supplies. So I've just kept one of each colour for this oil paints. I've got a few watercolour pencils that I've kept because I don't use a whole lot. I've actually given away 3 times this many in the to give away pile. I've kept all my paintbrushes because Emma uses these for school, and I've also got some leather craft stuff in here that I hope to one day use again. I've got some oil pastels and I've got a few other acrylic paints that I kept hold of. I've got one thing of tacky glue, all-purpose glue, and some watercolour palette. So this should be more than enough for us to play with if we want to do any kind of painting. So I've kept that in a nice little box and kept it tidy. This is the basket that I have purchased. I purchased this for $12 and it's so that I can pick it up and carry it and put it on the table or wherever I want to work, maybe outside. This is a little caddy with my washi tape and pens and glue, and then underneath here is a few extra things that I use for if I want to be really decorative and crazy, and that's just a little notebook that I can use on the side. So that just sits in there nicely tidy. I've put this one down here. It's just got craft paper and spare notebooks, collage paper that I know we might use at some point, and my cutting board. So I've kept this concertina file because I realised that some of the things in there I haven't kept a digital copy of. For starters, we owned a trust and that needs to be kept a hold of for 7 years, the documents for that. So I'm going to keep that there until we absolutely don't need it anymore. It's quite small and minimal, so I'm not too worried. Sewing kit, happy to keep everything in a tidy compartment there. This we pull out all the time if we need to mend something, cut something, sew something. I have kept hold of the little bits of material because I think that they're really pretty and I love to do a craft with them. And of course I've kept hold of my grandma's doilies because I'm not ready to part with them yet, and that's okay, I think. I think I've made good choices with these 4 things. It's really hard to know because my teenagers hold on to things. It's very hard to get them to let them go, but I have minimized it some. So the giant box of glue gun stuff I have minimized down to just a small packet if they want to pull it out and use it. I've kept hold of the kinetic sand just for the fun of it, and I'm not even sure that it's for sale anymore, so I'm loath to get rid of it just yet. This is the art cloth that I'll put down if we ever were using paints, and that is the tray they use for the kinetic sand. I've kept hold of the bead making stuff because Emma may very well get into that, and it's quite expensive to purchase all those things, so I'm just going to hold on to it for a little bit longer and we'll see if she uses it between now and when we move next. And this Lego kit is the one thing I'm not 100% sure I should have held on to. By the time Cora gets to old enough to use this, I could easily buy her another one if she's really interested in Lego, so I'm not sure that I will hold on to this. So all in all, I feel like this cupboard is really organised now, other than the fact that I could potentially get rid of 1 or 2 boxes down here. I think I've got space for it. There's a thought. Just because there's room doesn't mean I need to put something there. It's that thing. We've invested money in the Lego and we've invested money in the beading supplies, but just because I've invested money doesn't mean it's still valuable or worth anything or necessary for us to hold on to. That was super fun to get all that decluttered and tidied up and made pretty. Hopefully this has motivated you or encouraged you or inspired you in some way to declutter your crafty office space. Maybe you've got a hotspot in your kitchen that needs some attention. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.